Ideology, as you might know, is the lifeline of any country. It defines what they can do, what their economy is going to be, what their military size can be. It defines almost anything in a country. So, I'm going to show you the 3 main ideologies that you can have if you're making a country. Our first ideology will be communism. Yes, the Soviet Union, Stalin, Lenin, some stuff that some person in San Francisco might glorify. It's not as good as you might think, as most modern-day communist countries have a forced military service where you will have like 10 years or your entire lifetime inside the military. Most communist countries also have a sort of forced labor kind of thing, like in China. I'm not going to speak about that, I'll get censored, but yeah, they have a forced labor. They have, most people inside communist countries are relatively poor, they're not rich at all. Look at Laos, they're the poorest country inside of Southern Asia. So, you know, unless if you like poor people and you being rich, do not choose this ideology. Ah yes, democracy. The ideology of the land of the free. Look at New York. Look at San Francisco. Look how that's going. Anyways, every country with this ideology has a form of voting, whether that be parliamentary or representative. It doesn't matter to me, really. But also, a lot of these countries have a form of social policy, which, if you don't know, is kind of communist. Communist 2.0. But countries with this usually don't have a forced labor kind of motive. They usually don't force a military service on anyone, except for South Korea. They do. They fear North Korea. I don't blame them. But people in these countries can range from poor to rich, because there's a lot of democratic nations in Africa as well. Not exactly free, but democratic, technically. And then we have the USA. They're pretty rich, but yeah, they span continents. It's unique and everything. So yeah. Oh no, the home ideology of so many nations I cannot legally mention. This ideology is heavily focused on self-determination, to where like, oh, we have this material, we can make it ourselves, we don't need this nation to trade with, we can make it ourselves, and that kind of stuff, you know? And also is very racial. If you are 1% different from the desired person in this nation, you best get your tail out of there. You will be shot, you will be arrested, something bad will happen to you. This is not a very good ideology to follow. There are also so many other ideologies that people follow. I mean, everyone else in the world has a different ideology from you, even a little bit different. Some of those ideologies are democratic socialism, social democracy, monarcho-socialism, monarchy, and a lot of other socialist things. And another one that I'm just going to put as text that I cannot mention. Currency is the bloodline of a country. You have to have enough of it to live, and if you don't have any of it, you become weaker or you die. And by die, I mean you don't become a nation, you break up eventually. So, I'm going to show you some examples, and maybe you can make your own. Some famous examples, obviously, of currencies are like the euro, the US dollar, the British pound, and a micronational currency that is inside of Dayton, Nevada, is the Molossean Valora, which is actually tied to cookie dough, if you didn't know. So, making your own currency is pretty complicated, but a simplified way of doing it is printing your own money, your own currency, not one that already exists, and then pinning that amount of money that you printed to whatever currency you are deciding to pin it to. So like if you're pinning your own currency to the US dollar, and let's say you printed 5 million of that, the equation would be 5 million divided by however US dollars are printed at the time. Also, if you're going to use an existing currency, I would advise using a very strong one, like the US dollar or the euro or something like that, because it's a good thing to use instead of something that's hyperinflated, like the Venezuelan bolivar. Now, this last step is easier, way easier said than done. You have to find unclaimed land to actually make a nation, you know? And if you don't know, almost every inch of land currently is under control of a nation. The easiest way to possibly find unclaimed territory is going through the Pacific or the Atlantic Oceans and finding random islands that you know are not claimed. Okay, so let's say you actually decide to follow out with these plans and somehow find unclaimed land out in the Pacific Ocean and somehow make a currency and somehow choose an ideology. I want you to type down in the comments, if you want to, some countries, I guess, that you made yourself, not existing ones, because I am eventually going to rate them. Yeah, I'm rating stuff. Can't you believe it? Oh my gosh.